Okay, so this is professional development. It's called Using Google Tools to Enhance Our Circle Grant Activities in 2019-2020. So hopefully we can plan ahead a little bit. So the first thing I'm going to ask you all to do is I'm going to give you a sticky note, and I want you to think about and write on the sticky note. You don't have to write your name. Please write a barrier you feel exists for our teachers in using more technology in the classroom. A barrier that you feel exists that keeps us from maybe using more technology in the classroom. Thank you. Yes, when you are done, thanks for asking. When you are done, you can just come up and put it right there on the corner of the table for me. Those sticky notes can be pretty strong. Alrighty, moving on. Here's our goal for this meeting. We hope to develop ways to use Google Suite to enhance our literacy opportunities in our school in conjunction with the Circle Grant in the 2019-2020 school year. So, and in fact, our Circle Grant does even mention teachers using Google Suite more to improve instruction. Here is some information about our school. Approximately 650 students in grades 3 through 5, 9 core teachers in 3rd grade, 8 in 4th, and 8 in 5th. The majority of teachers have 6+ years experience. That was based on our CSIP from 2 years ago. In 2017-2018, our school proficiency score was 66.7, which dropped slightly from last year, but we exceeded our goal by 6 points. Our separate academic indicator was 70.2, and our growth was 16. With 16, both exceeded goal. This school has worked hard the last 3 years to improve significantly, but are possibly finding a plateau in scores, which that was the background for the project. When comparing the growth from our 2015-16 K-Prep data and reading to 2016-17 K-Prep data, we were able to reduce the percentage of students scoring novice by 3.6%, and we were able to increase our percentage of students scoring proficient by 6.7%. As well in math, we were able to reduce the percentage of novice by 6% and increase the number of students scoring proficient by 1.8. Historically, our MAP scores had shown to be within 5 to 10% accuracy of our actual K-Prep scores, and so I wanted to compare MAP data for the last 2 years to see if our growth patterns had continued the same as MAP. However, when comparing the MAP data and reading from 2016-17 to 2017-18, I found that our 2017-18 reading MAP scores showed 17.6% scoring novice, 31.8% apprentice, 34.9% proficient, and 15.7% scoring distinguished school-wide. Based on these numbers, the amount of novice was not decreased. However, we did increase our percentage of students scoring proficient by 1%. In math, we did decrease our novice by 1.9% and increase our distinguished by 0.5%. Since completing this data analysis, of course, this was done before our last round of testing. Scores came in last September from last May. Okay. Our bottom line is that we need to increase personalization and student engagement to keep our students growing and our overall school growth trend on the increase. This project is intended to help teachers utilize the technology we have to increase student engagement and personalization in the regular classroom to help reduce the need for Tier 2 and Tier 3 interventions. Project background, objectives. So, here was the objectives of the project that STLP did this year. The objectives were to provide opportunities in the regular classroom to personalize instruction to individual student needs, to provide opportunities to increase student engagement, collaboration, and problem solving in the regular classroom, to provide information to our faculty about types of technology that is effective in the regular classroom, and to assist in decreasing over time the need for Tier 2 and Tier 3 intervention supports. This was the survey that was sent out last fall, the results that STLP, so it was the first survey that STLP sent out last October. 19 teachers responded, and it was spread pretty evenly between 3rd, 4th, and 5th grades. Teachers responding. And the most used Google tools were Google Docs, Google Classroom, Google Slides. Then we had some that used Google Forms and Sheets. There was nobody at that time that answered that said they used Google quizzes, but some that responded with Google Drive. And these were the other answers where people typed in answers, so that's where those numbers come from. However, in 2019, there were less people who responded. We still are using Google Docs and Google Classroom quite a bit, along with Google Slides. One person, which wasn't on the fall survey, started using Google Quizzes, and Google Forms still was pretty strong. Some of the comments, and I'll just read a few of these, but some of the comments, it's helped me to, this was comments as far as the impact of teacher comments on how our Nifty 50 Google Tools projects has impacted their instruction. One, it's helped me to review Google Forms when I need to use it. It's helped teachers have a resource. Beneficial, it's been beneficial for students to have a tutorial. Excited to have tutorials that are really handy to get to. Helped become more familiar with Google Docs and how to use them in my classroom. STLP students have taught me how to better use Google through their videos, one-on-one lessons after school. I've watched their videos and they've helped. The best I got was when STLP students came to my room for the one-on-one lesson. So that was our teacher help desk from STLP. I now have a better understanding of various Google applications, and it's helped me to develop lesson plans, weekly newsletters, bell ringers. It's enhanced my knowledge over specific programs so I can apply them to my classroom. I've used Google Drive more to collaborate with other teachers. It's helped me to try to use different avenues for technology in my teaching. So those were some comments, and I appreciate, because I'm sure that those comments came from a lot of you in this room. And our video analysis. Now this is where the impact really showed as far as STLP's project, because this was only, this project was only geared toward the teachers of this school. So we weren't looking for hundreds and thousands of subscribers. We were looking for the teachers in the school to subscribe to the channel. But ended up to be, this was just last week, 36 subscribers, and there have been 446 views out of those 36 subscribers. So that means that there's been a lot of returns, to come back and rewatch videos. So I thought that was awesome. That was one thing that really impressed our judges too yesterday at the STLP competition. So that was awesome that the teachers have come back and used those quite a bit. So here's a summary of the data from that project. Many of our teachers have watched the videos, however not as many have used Google Tools in their instruction. The teachers who are using Google Tools do use them daily and for a variety of uses. So the teachers who are using Google Tools use them a lot. Our teachers are interested in Google Tools, but we need to make it easy for them to use the tools. So here's our guiding question as we finish the second half of this professional development. How can we use Google Tools next year to enhance our grant activities? Well, just kind of go back over our grant. In section 2.3 of our grant, we specified using technology to create electronic writing portfolios that students can carry with them, which has been implemented using Google Drive. We also specified that teachers from all content areas need training and support to implement writing strategies in the content area. So our question here could be, how could we use Google Tools to make it easier or helpful for teachers in various content areas to use different writing strategies? Section 2.3 of our grant proposal, we talked about how many of our students did not have reliable internet connectivity at home. In response, we created Reading Royale, which has been very successful, their morning lab. How can we use Google Tools to make this better, to make Reading Royale even better? And also in section 2.3 of the grant, we discussed wanting to create literacy opportunities outside of school. We have Camp Safari, morning book clubs, and reading night. How could we use Google Tools to enhance these opportunities? Or are there any that we could add? Section 5.1 of our grant, we wrote about RTI and our protocol for rendering RTI. So how can we help our teachers use Google tools, like our regular classroom teachers or our RTI teachers, to provide those RTI services. Section 6.3 of our grant proposal, we talked about using informal leadership roles where teachers shared learned information in PLCs or IRF meetings. So how can we use Google tools to help teachers analyze test data or research strategies and then share the information electronically with our staff? So maybe kind of like study groups. How could we use these Google tools to form study groups that maybe don't have to meet but just kind of communicate electronically? So here's where you all take action. Right now, I'd like you to find a partner who you have not personally worked with before. Yep.
When you say personally,
I mean, like, probably maybe not somebody on your same grade level.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Or, you know, somebody that you taught content with
Okay.
before. Things like of that nature. Everybody got their partner? Okie doke. So this is what you're going to do. Do you want me to put you in partners? You can do that. All right. So there were some questions on those slides. So what I'd like you to do is to please think about the questions that we just discussed, that I just read, that were on those slides. They're also posted around the room. So there's one back here. How could we use Google tools to help teachers form study groups to learn new strategies or analyze data? There are 3 here. How could we use Google tools to help our RTI teachers? How could we use Google tools to create more out of classroom literacy activities? How could we use Google tools to improve reading royale? The morning lab. And right here, how could we use Google to help us create opportunities to write in various content areas? I want you to talk with your partner about both of your answers. What the expectation is that you put an answer on at least 2 posters. If there is a poster that is blank, I would really like for there to be at least 2 answers on each poster. Okay, so if there's a poster that's blank, I'd really like your help in making sure there's some sort of response there. But please answer at least 2 questions. If you want to answer more, you're welcome to. Please write your answer to at least 2 questions on the posters. Please write big enough so that we can easily see your answer from our seats. Okay, so right now I'm going to give you a little bit of think, pair, share time. When you're ready, you can go ahead and respond to the posters.
You knew what you were doing.
You could have a classroom class student classroom or your classroom class. Yeah. So but how am I reading more? Yeah, but when resources,
All right, guys, just since we're supposed to be back in the front at 2:15, if you want to kind of wind it up in about 2 or 3 minutes, and we'll come on back together and finish it out.
oh, right.
So, like a compiled list of what students need to be working on.
Yes, yes. All so let's bring it back together. And what we're going to do is we're going to summarize our ideas on this side and then some of your challenges that you listed on the other side so we can kind of foresee maybe some problems that might come up. So on the first poster, how could Google help us create opportunities to write in various content areas? There was share resources through Google Drive. Okay, so share resources. I'm gonna put Google Drive. Okay. Another idea was let students collaborate using docs. Okay, and on the next poster back there, how could we use Google tools to improve reading?
Sorry, I should have wrote bigger.
Oh, no, it's okay. Use sheets to make master list of what students should work on. Okay, so like to-do list using sheets. To-do list using sheets, Google Sheets. And then we've got
Digital sign-in.
okay, digital sign-in, let's see, to save copies. Oh, okay.
And, to do, whenever we do weekly drawings, it'll automatically randomize the students.
Okay. So the sign-ins would be for,
Students. Yes, students, like on spreadsheet or something.
okay. And so, drawings, all electronic. All right, and let's see, how could we use Google tools to create more out of classroom literacy activities? Okay, so we could link resources on Google Classroom. Link resources, Classroom. And how could we use Google tools to help our RTI teachers to share information and data? I was thinking about that too, like maybe about student data to help them plan problem content for students in class, okay, or RTI both could work on. So maybe things that students need to work on? Okay. Collaborate on student needs. All right, let's see here. Over here, how could we use Google tools to help teachers form study groups to learn strategies or analyze data, compare data using sheets to find trends? So compare student data. I'm going to put /trends using Google Sheets. All right. Good job. So, challenges. Number of Chromebooks. I can understand that. Number of Chromebooks.
Yeah, probably. Hang on and I'll pick it up on the...
Tech limited resources. Familiarity. Okay. Being familiar with these tools. Lack of confidence or willingness to try, okay. Ease of transition. Transition to technology. Enough resources, not having enough technology. Maybe that'll get worked on. Computer skill knowledge in Google. Troubleshooting basic problems. Okay. Help using Google. Alright, kind of along the same lines. Let's see. Time to master. Time to master technology. So, learning how to use it, which kind of goes along, I think, with some of the others there. Learning to use new technology. All right. I know that we don't have a whole lot of time left, but let's start working. I know that some of these are not necessarily in our control right now, but let's talk about ease of transition into technology and help using Google. What would be some solutions that we could use as far as, what would be some solutions as far as helping teachers kind of ease into using more of these Google tools, do you think?
I think once we had to go to Google for our lesson plans,
Right.
then it was kind of like a course.
Uh-huh.
There was no option, and then it kind of made teachers and myself get used to using it too.
Right.
And then what I've come to find out is that if people like Mr. Curry love it, and he's like, that wasn't bad at all. So I think it's just, we have to find a way to,
Yeah. It
I
make
don't
it,
know what that is. It's not
Right.
just saying you have to do this, because
Right.
that's not very nice either.
right. Okay.
I just like having time to play with it.
Right. Okay.
Just because I learn better if I can just like, you know, go in and mess up a couple times and then figure out how to use it from that way.
Okay.
Than just having someone stand up and tell me, you know, click certain buttons.
Okay. So time to explore.
Possibly during Earth time.
Okay. Good idea. Anybody else?
I think possibly having like mentors, like people who feel that they're stronger within the school
Yeah.
using the Google Drives. You know, being listed as people that can help people who feel uncomfortable with it, maybe partnering or setting up groups to where they're like you can work together on certain Google stuff, and they don't have to necessarily be in your grade level. They could be,
Right.
you know,
Just like
in
your
different
go-to
grades and
person.
content
Yeah.
areas. It could be like your Google team.
Right. And that would probably help with community as well.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you all so much. Let's see our next steps. We've just organized our answers into a list of possible grant activities for next year. We've also discussed possible barriers that we might face in implementing these activities. I really appreciate your all's attention and your ideas. And it's Friday. Thank you.